In this example, we are looking at how the margin of error would change if the sample size had been 2,000. So in the previous example, your sample size was 1,000, which gave a margin of error of plus or minus 3.2%. So what happens if our N value increased, so instead of sampling 1,000 adults, they sample 2,000 adults, you would think that would give a more accurate view of the entire population. And that's what happens here. So you'll notice what happens if you survey 2,000 adults rather than 1,000 adults. Your margin of error that you are calculating would become your plus or minus 1 over square root of 2,000 times 100. So we'll go ahead and round that a little bit. The 1 over square root of 2,000 will round to 0.024. So that margin of error would be approximately plus or minus 2.4%, versus with N equals 1,000, it was 3.2%. So again, what that's calculating, you're just trying to get an idea of how accurate you are with regards to the whole population based on your sample size. So just like we did in the previous example, we're only looking at this line here. None of this is relevant to our question here. We're only looking at the data for what the results were that adults said that they dread doing taxes. So what you can say, the 95% confidence is always there for margin of error. So we can be 95% confident. But what's going to happen is our percentages, the range is going to decrease now versus what was in the previous example. We can be 95% confident that between, because this 28% isn't exact. This is just what happened with our sample. But it does, we want to see what it represents for the entire population. So if we take the 28 minus our new margin of error, the 28 minus 2.4, we get 25.6. If we take the 28 and add 2.4, we get 30.4. So we have a smaller range than we did with a in the previous example. So we can be 95% confident that between 25.6% and 30.4% of all adults, so talking about the entire population, dread doing taxes. And you could experiment with that as N increases, as your N value increases and you survey more people, that margin of error would become smaller.